Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I also wanted to let you know that not only do I create content here on Class in the Glass, but I also stream content in my Twitch channel, Mr. Revan7. I play single-player games, multiplayer games, and I also do movie reviews and cartoon reviews as well. I also want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, Class in the Glass, where I offer audio commentaries, full reactions for movies, and also the ability to submit questions for my video casts and podcasts. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and enjoy the video.
Line of work, I thought you'd be bigger.
Gee, I've never heard that before.
Roadhouse.
But chat, we are opening up, and we are in a nightclub in New York City, chat. The Big Fucking Apple. We're not yet. We're not in Missouri right now, chat. We're not in Missouri yet. No, we are in New York City, and we are following the character, chat, of Mr. Frank Tillman. Frank Tillman, he's on a mission because he's looking for a bouncer, chat. Not just a bouncer, chat, but a cooler. Now, you're probably asking me, what's a cooler? I mean, how's that different than a bouncer? The difference is, chat, the cooler, he's the guy who's just there to be cool, okay? His job is to calm everyone down. His job is to de-escalate the situation so you don't have a goddamn barroom brawl, because that wouldn't be fun. People are drinking, trying to have a good time. They're dancing. Who wants a brawl inside of a bar, chat? Because everyone stops drinking, everyone stops dancing, and the bar shuts down. So you get someone like a Patrick Swayze type chat, like a cooler, who cools things down for people. And good old Patrick Tillman, chat, he's going in there. And at first you're like, who the hell is this guy? Because he's just looking at all the men. And he's like, no, not you. No, not you, honey. And he sees Patrick Swayze, he goes, oh my God. And chat, I got the, every time I see him, you just start getting the vapors. Okay, it doesn't matter. You listen. There's nothing wrong. You can feel confident in your masculinity and your sexuality, chat, because we can all admit on this stream, because I will admit on this stream, Patrick Swayze is a ridiculously handsome and sexy man, okay? We can all admit this, chat, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Have the confidence to say so, because I have the confidence to say so. I have the confidence in myself to say he's beautiful, okay? He's a prime piece of man meat, chat. And when Patrick Tillman sees him, he's just watching Patrick Swayze. He's watching Patrick Swayze watching all the other people in the bar. And Patrick Swayze, he's seeing all the shenanigans that are going down. He sees this one guy. This one guy's messing with this girl, chat. He wants some of the love making, but she doesn't want to give him any of the love making. And he kicks her bar stool out from under her, and she lands on her butt. And it's like, you don't do that. That's assault. And Patrick Swayze, he walks over there, and he tells this guy and his idiot jabroni friend, it's like, all right, boys, you're going to have to get out of here now. I'm going to ask you nicely. And it's like, fuck you, Dole. We're not going anywhere. And he's like, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to get going. And he's like, all right, okay, we'll get going. So they turn around, chat, and Patrick Swayze's like, okay, I'm about to leave. And he takes on a fucking pen, chat. One of the guys who assaulted the girl takes on a pen, and he stabs Patrick Swayze, chat, in his arm. And Patrick Swayze just kind of looks at him like, you fucked up. And he's grabbed, chat, and so is the other guy, and all of his bouncer boys, they grab these two idiots. And they lead him outside. And, like, as they're going, like, they stop. It's like, no. Like, you and me, Dalton, you and me. Let's fucking do this. I always wanted to kick your ass. And Dalton's like, okay, let's go outside. And then we'll do it. It's like, oh, shit, we're about to see some action right here, chat. Already, we're not even 5 minutes into this epic picture, chat. And Patrick Swayze's about to lay some whoop ass. And so they all go outside. They kick him out there. Bouncers are all lined up. Right behind Patrick Swayze, and these two guys look, come on, Dalton, let's go. And Patrick Swayze just looks him up and down and goes, and he just walks back inside. See, chat, that's his job. It's not to be aggressive towards aggression. It's to de-escalate the situation. You guys are like, hey, let's fucking fight. And they look like losers, chat. They look like losers, because that's what Patrick Swayze needs to do. He needs to cool everything off. He goes back in, everyone's cleaning everything up, everyone's having a good time, like, yay, Dalton. Everyone, and then fuck it. And goddamn Mr. Tillman, chat, he's looking at Patrick Swayze like, I want some of that man meat. And then we go to the back. He follows Patrick Swayze to the back, chat, where Patrick Swayze takes off his shirt, chat, and just fucking gets out a little needle and some thread and begins to sew up his pen stab wound. It doesn't even bother him, chat, as we all know. As we shall soon learn, chat, pain don't hurt, okay? Pain don't hurt Patrick Swayze. And so he's sewing this thing up, and Mr. Tillman, he leans over at Patrick Swayze. He's like, hey, I heard you're Dalton. He's like, you heard correctly. And he's like, listen, I got a club down in Missouri, and it's, originally it was a nice looking club. It was a good place, but it's fallen on hard times because of hard people. And I've come into some money recently, and I want to clean the place up. But before I can do that, before I can own all these little knickknacks and features, I need to take care of the riffraff. And the people I have trying to take care of the riffraff, they're not making it any better. And Patrick Swayze's like, not interested. And he's like, how about I pay you double whatever this guy's paying you? And Patrick Swayze's like, okay, interesting. You know what? No. The person you want is Wade Garrett. He's the best of the best. He's like a Wade Garrett, maybe the best of the best, but he's getting old. That's Sam Elliott, by the way. That's Sam Elliott, played by Wade Garrett. We don't know that yet. We'll learn in like about 45 minutes into the movie. And so, but I want you. You're on the come up. You're like the second best. And Patrick Swayze's like, all right, this is my fucking fee. $5,000 up front and $500 per night. Every night I work. Which, chat, is a lot. And he even says, and I want you to pay for all my medical benefits. Now, I'm pretty sure, chat, a bouncer at a club does not get that kind of deal, okay? But fucking Patrick Swayze is the best of the best. Or at least he's the second best, right behind Wade Garrett, chat, because Wade Garrett, as we all know, is the fucking best. And Tillman, he's just so desperate to help. He goes, yes, absolutely. I have your plane ticket right here. And Patrick Swayze, Dalton's like, I don't fly. It scares me. And he's like, how the hell are you going to come down to Missouri? He's like, I'll get there. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get there. I'll be there tomorrow. And he's like, all right, shit. I mean, it's midnight, but okay. All right, I guess I'll see you then. And then Patrick Swayze's boss of the club he's working at, he passed by. He's like, does that look like it hurts? That looks like it hurts, Dalton. He says, pain don't hurt, as we know, chat. By the way, boss, I'm quitting tonight. See you later. He's like, what? No! He's like, yeah, that was the deal, man. We worked out. I could quit anytime I want. He's like, no, but I need you. But that's too late, chat. Patrick Swayze, he's got to get going. Darkseid, think with the 5 minis. Swayze knew the real benefits were medical. He did. It's very smart, chat. You get a job and they pay for your medical, like insurance and stuff. Do that. That's a prime fucking job right there. Mr. Yasman, there's a story where Bill Murray is a friend of Kelly Lynch and her husband. Every time he watches Roadhouse and sex scenes come on, he would call and tell the husband he's watching Swayze having sex with his wife. What the fuck? That's fucked up. That's funny though. Very funny. Jader Shaw ain't got time to believe. He might as well said that, Chad. Might as well said that. He probably would have. It wasn't already copyrighted by Jesse the Body Ventura, chat. Sadly, it was copyrighted. But he goes ahead. He drives home to his little apartment, chat. He's driving. It's kind of like this regular-looking car and everything. And we see this one guy, this very round man, just sitting outside. And Patrick Swayze, he gets out of his car and he throws him the keys. He's like, I'm no goddamn valet. He's like, don't worry about it. The car's yours. He's like, what? Car's yours. Go ahead, take it. Which I'm like, first of all, you'd have to sign over the title and things, and there's a lot involved with that. You can't just give a guy a car. But that's what Patrick Swayze did. He gives the car, and he goes in his garage and he gets another car, his true vehicle. And then he drives all the way to Missouri, chat. And the fucking Mr. Tillman says, meet me at my club, chat, the Double Deuce, which is like, that's not a great name, in all honesty. You could have come up with something better than Double Deuce. People often call it the Double Douche in the movie. It's like, yeah, that's an easy fucking joke to make. But he goes to the Double Deuce, chat. He drives all the way from New York City to Missouri in about 3 hours. Now, chat, I don't know how much you know about geography. But that's not possible. You cannot do that, okay? You can't, I'll tell you this, chat, from one end of New York City to the other, so New York City to Buffalo, I made this journey about a year ago with one Mr. Corey Coleman and Mr. Martin Thomas, chat. We went across the goddamn state. Takes about 9 hours. Takes about maybe 8.5 if you're lucky without any traffic, chat, but probably 9 hours. So how he gets from New York City to Missouri in 3 is, I think that's kind of bullshit, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it. It doesn't matter, chat. Patrick Swayze, as it's established in the film, can do anything, chat. Pain don't hurt. If pain don't hurt, then he can accomplish any goal he sets his mind to. It's nuts. And so he finds himself in the Double Deuce, chat. Already at the outset, you know this place is fucking bad. You got people already drinking in the parking lot, smashing bottles on cars. Everyone's just falling over each other, vomiting and shit. And they're all looking at Patrick Swayze. Who the hell is this prime cut of man meat doing here? What's he doing? We don't like the cut of your jib, boy. And he's like, I don't give a damn. And he fucking pops his collar, check, because it's the 1980s. That's what you do with your jackets. And he walks in the bar. And if you thought the outside was worse, boy, you should see the inside, chat, because it is a fucking Roadhouse. This is the movie title. And everything's crazy. They got the fucking band encased in chain link fence because everyone's throwing shit at them constantly. It's like, that's terrible. Why would you do that? Like broken glass and liquids, chat, and feces. Everything you can imagine. It might as well just be a bunch of chimpanzees. And they're just throwing all their bodily fluids at the band. And you see other people, they're just drinking, they're punching. The bouncers, they're being just as aggressive as the patrons, chat. They're being the chef, knocking the people they're trying to get out of the bar into other people. It is a madhouse, chat. A madhouse roadhouse. And the only thing Patrick Swayze's doing, the only thing that Dalton's doing, shit, he's just looking. He's just observing. He's taking everything in because he knows he needs to know. He needs to know about what the environment he's in to truly understand it, chat, to address the problems, okay? It's very much a thinking man's process. He's not just going to go in there, chat, and start beating people up. Absolutely not. No, he has to figure this out so he can, as well, what we learn, chat, what do we learn? Cool it down. He's got to cool it down, chat, and he needs to address the problems. So he's observing all this shit. He's asking, one of the bouncers doesn't know who he is. And he's like, I'm going to throw your ass out of here if you don't start drinking, chat, because bar people usually, bartenders, they frown the fact if you're in the bar and you're not eating anything, you're not drinking anything, because they want your money, chat. And he's not doing anything. He's like, all right, I'll have a coffee. And he's like, ooh. He's just drinking coffee, straight black, chat. That's all he's doing. Talking to various patrons and stuff. Talking to this one girl who operates there, chat. She's a would-be singer. I believe her name is Carrie Ann. Carrie Ann, chat, played by Kathleen Willett. Good name. But she takes a shine to good old Dalton because he's like the nicest boy she's seen in quite some time. Because all the boys in this bar, chat, are disrespecting the ladies. Always grabbing asses, grabbing boobies and all that stuff. Not appropriate, chat. And then we come to another table. And it's like, geez, listen, chat, there's a lot of nudity in this movie. They were not shy about that. And they have this conversation between this man, and I guess his girlfriend, and these two other gentlemen. And this guy's been drinking a lot. The girl's been drinking a lot. The other two guys been drinking a lot. And he's like, hey, do you like titties? And he's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, would you like to kiss them? He's like, hell yeah, I would. Now, here's the thing. If you give me $20, I'll let you kiss him. And he's like, oh, boy. And he goes over there, chat, and he just starts rubbing. The girl's like, I guess I'm going to do this. Okay. And she presents the bazungas, chat, the bazingas. And he just starts grabbing him. He's just like, oh, he's all excited and shit. And the guy's like looking back, and everyone's like, hey, where's my $20? Oh, that's just the thing. I don't have $20. And he goes, and he starts punching. He starts punching, chat. Hashtag me too in the bar. Oh my God, it's everywhere. It's everything in this movie. And he starts punching, chat, and it get big old brawl. It's not looking good. They eventually throw everyone out. And then Mr. Tillman, he sees Patrick Swayze and he beckons him over. And because he wants to talk to him, he goes over there. He's like, you see what I'm dealing with? Patrick Swayze's like, yeah, I could see, but nothing I can't fix. I've seen worse. It's like, wow, okay, this is pretty bad. I've never been to a bar like this, chat. I would not want to, because you would probably walk out dead. And the thing is, like, everything's going crazy. Like, people are just, and then a huge brawl starts. Everyone's smashing bottles and throwing alcohol at each other, punching, stabbing and shit. Eventually it stops. The band, they finish up, and we learn that the lead guitarist of the band, I believe it's Cody. I don't know what the band. No, I think it's Cody. I think that's the leader of the band, chat. He's a blind boy. We're gonna call him Blind Boy. Good old blind Cody. He's a friend of Dalton's, chat, because he's blind. He doesn't know when he's there. And so Dalton, he goes up to good old Cody, and it's like, oh, Dalton, you're here. It's like, hey, Cody, how you doing? And Cody's telling him, he's like, listen, man. This place is shit. We've been playing here for the last few weeks. It's even worse than Ohio. Remember Ohio? And then fucking Patrick Swayze has like this fucking weird, like 1,000-yard stare. I remember Ohio. Something bad happened in Ohio, chap. Dayton, Ohio. Don't want to go. You can't think of that because Patrick Swayze, he'll go all crazy on you. And he's like, yeah, man. You got to clean this place up? Gonna try. He's like, great. And so then, chat, we cut like, I guess, a couple hours later. Can't see Cody. That's his name, Night Brown. Nailed it. I think they call him that in the movie. Oh, Joan Headley is the actor, and he's he's actually blind. Well, I kind of feel bad now. Listen, he did a good job. He did a very good. He's a real-life singer. He's did well for himself here. I like his chemistry with Patrick Swayze. He holds his own in the movie, chat. Like, listen, the acting quality is all over the board, but he does fine. He has a certain charm to him, and I dug his performance a lot. Patrick Swayze could have been Bruce Wayne, but he probably wouldn't have wanted to. And Tim Burton probably couldn't have imagined him. Oh, yeah, that's right. Wouldn't John Peters want Patrick Swayze for the role? Honestly, I can see him as Bruce Wayne. I can definitely see he has the mysteriousness, that kind of sensitive side of him, but he puts up a front of a playboy. Like, honestly, Chad, I could have seen Patrick Swayze as Bruce Wayne. Maybe not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, I could see that. I can definitely see that. He's brooding. He broods a lot in this movie. Maybe he could be Batman, chat. I gotta think about it. I have to think about it, chat. But anyway, he calls a meeting and he fucking, I'm Dalton. They're like, oh my God, Dalton. Apparently, the bouncer community, chat, the bouncer and cooler community, Dalton is like a fucking legend. I don't know how this information gets around, chat. Like, oh, all the bouncers know each other. That's a little presumptuous, chat. All bouncers know each other, but okay, we'll go with it. And he's like, listen, from here on out, what I say is the law. We have a lot of things to address. A lot of things to address. By the way, fucking Curly Q, this guy with big curly hair, chat. I believe his name is, what's his goddamn name? Terry Funk, Mr. Funk, Morgan Funk, you're fired. He's like, why? Because you're an idiot and you keep punching everybody. No, we don't need that. And he also gets rid of one of the girls, chat, who's slinging dope. She's slinging dope everywhere. He's like, we sell beer, not drugs. Get your ass out of here. Get your scrawny ass out. And she leaves along with Morgan Funk. They all leave, chat. Oh, they'll be back with a vengeance, though, when they join the villain, Bradley, chat. Good old Brad Wesley. And so he's like, okay, guys, so those of you who are still here, I have 3 simple rules, okay? Rule number 1, if someone calls you, as Mr. Swayze calls it, chat, a cocksucker, or any other very negative term, you're gonna be nice. And they're like, what are you talking about? What if he says that to us? No. You can't meet him with a punch. You don't say the same thing to him. You be nice. That's what you do. And he's like, what if the guy gets belligerent? Rule number 2, you be nice. De-escalate the situation. And it's like, what if he starts throwing? Then you call your friends over, then you grab him by each arm, and say with me now, you be nice. And it's like, well, what if we can't always be nice? And he says, Patrick Swayze was, you'll know. He's like, how will we know? Because I'll tell you when you know. And they're like, shit. Does anyone have a problem with that? And we have a couple of people like, they're all, like, you know, but now most of them are like, yes, we understand Patrick Swayze. But what about, I didn't hear Mr. Tillman say, that you can be in charge. And Mr. Tillman goes, he's in charge, everyone, see you in a half hour. And they're like, God damn it. And so he's in charge now, chat. And we get various scenes in the movie of them trying to take control of the situation. The bar starts to get a little bit better. Eventually, we're on like the, maybe the second, third, fourth night. And Patrick Swayze, he's still observing certain things, Chad. He's still trying to observe certain things. And he knows that one of the guys, who I don't even know the fuck his name, he's one of the other dumb bouncers who's very disrespectful towards Patrick Swayze, Chad. Might as well, he's henchman number 1, for all I know. And we got this one very heavy-set bouncer guy, and he's very respectful of Patrick Swayze. He's taking him very seriously, and he's adhering to his rules of be nice. And he's like, you can't let these 2 girls in, because it's like, well, these aren't credit cards. These are Sears credit cards. No, I need actual fucking plastic. And the guy, henchman number 1, goes, it's like, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him, Billy Bob. I'll take care of them. He's like, but Patrick Swayze said, don't worry about Patrick Swayze. Worry about yourself. And he takes him on back. Chad. Patrick Swayze's observing this. I don't like that. And then, Chad, he notices that the bartender, the main bartender, Chad, Mr. Mustache, I don't know his actual name. He is the nephew, by the way, of Brad Wesley, who controls the town. We have not been introduced yet to Brad Wesley, Chad. But he's in control of the goddamn town. He's got a big old mustache. And he's been skimming off the top. He's been skimming about like $150 a night, stealing from Mr. Tillman. He's like, Patrick doesn't like that. And eventually he goes to check on henchman number 1, Chad, in the back room, where henchman number 1 is having graphic doggy-style sex, chat. With one of the people he came in here, probably an underage girl, looked to be. And Patrick Swayze's like, yeah, you're done, by the way. He's like, no, I'm on break. It was like, yeah, we'll stay on break. You're fired! And he gets his ass out of there, chat. And then we cut to the bartender. He's like, yeah, you're going to pack your stuff up and get the hell out of here. He's like, what are you talking about? I see you skimming about, what, $140, $150 a night, drinking alcohol all the time. I'm sure you're not paying for that right now. And it's like, think of that as your severance pay. You're fired. Well, I didn't hear Mr. Tillman say that I'm fired. Mr. Tillman goes, you're fired. He goes, God damn it, I'm going to tell my Uncle Brad Wesley about you, Patrick Swayze. And he leaves. Meanwhile, we also catch up with what Patrick Swayze is doing throughout the town. He's introducing himself, trying to acclimate to all the citizens of good old, what's this town called? Jasper, Missouri? I'm going to call it Jasper, Missouri, chat. I think it's Jasper, Missouri. I got it right. And he buys himself a new vehicle, chat, the one that's not his actual car. And this car, chat, he does it for a good reason, because he needs to have an actual drivable vehicle, because his new car is going to get fucking tarnished and destroyed constantly, because people are going to be mad at him, chat, and it happens throughout the film. It's a running joke. His car keeps getting more and more destroyed, so he constantly has to repair it, but he's getting paid like $500 a goddamn day, so he's doing pretty good. He already has $5,000 in his pocket. Also, chat, he needs a place to stay. And so who does he run into? Santa Claus, chat. Santa Claus. His name is Emmett, chat, but he looks like fuck. It's like summer. It's like if Santa Claus had a summer home in Jasper, Missouri, and that's who he met, chat. And Santa Claus like, you're a good boy, Patrick Swayze. You can live here for free. He goes, thank you, Santa. And he lives in the house. But chat, over yonder, over the horse fields that good old Santa Claus owns, we see the evil mansion of Brad Wesley, chat. Brad Wesley, he has every sticky finger in every pie of Jasper, Missouri. He's constantly going after people, wanting all their shit, chat, and he's harassing the locals, too. Always flies over the horses of his private helicopter. Oh, Santa's not happy about that. And fucking Brad Wesley, you can tell he's bad, chat, because as soon as he gets out of the helicopter, he looks over to Santa and his horses, goes, it's like, well, yeah, you have to laugh like that, chat. You're a villain. And he goes in his mansion. Then we see various shenanigans, chat. A lot of naked women, a lot of booze, a lot of parties going on at this guy's place. But it's just not good. It's just not good. But eventually, chat, in one of the brawls that happens during the that's the thing, because Brad Wesley, he wants to maintain control of the town. He doesn't like someone like Dalton going in there and mucking up the business. Okay, he wants to keeps things at just a certain level of chaos, so no one else can gain control. He likes that, chat, and so he sends his boys over one night to cause some ruckus in the Double Deuce. And Patrick Swayze notices, yeah, these guys are trouble. He has a goddamn knife boot. Can't have that shit. Can't have knives boots in the Double Deuce. And so he gets his good old bouncer boys. They stop him. They throw him out to beat the shit out of him. But Patrick Swayze, he gets a little cut. He gets a little cut on his side. It's like, ooh, Patrick Swayze, no. And it's like, well, if a cut like that, you, sir, have to go to the hospital. And he goes to the hospital, chat. He has his medical records ready because he's injured quite often throughout this film and throughout his history as a cooler, chat. Gets his ass kicked a lot. And we're introduced to the character of Doc, chat, played by Kelly Lynch, who is drop dead beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And you can already tell these two are taking a liking to each other, chat. She's like, oh, you have your medical record. That's a little unusual. And he's like, it's good, just good to be prepared. And she's okay. Now I'm going to do the stitching right here. Now, the skin is rather thin here, so you're probably going to feel some pain. And Patrick Swayze, again, drops the iconic line, chat. Pain don't hurt, as we all know. Patrick Swayze can do anything. But, of course, he winces a bit. She's like, oh, yeah, pain doesn't hurt. She's like, she's fucking with him. She's fucking with him. And eventually, Patrick Swayze, he is just so enamored with good old Dr. Kelly Lynch. He asked her, hey, would you like to go to the Double Deuce this evening? And she goes, you mean that crazy bar? He goes, yes, that one, but it's not that crazy anymore. She's like, I heard you've been doing some good stuff over there. I've been helping out good old Tillman and all the other locals. And he goes, I have. Would you like some coffee? And she goes, I most certainly would like some coffee, Mr. Patrick Swayze. And so she heads over there, chat. That's when she gets all of them. It's like another big old fucking brawl or something. And he stops, though. He puts an end to it. She's like, whoa, that's like so hot. And he goes, hell yeah, it is. Let's go get some coffee and some pie. And they go to a nice little diner, chat, where they're eating, where they have their coffee, eating their pie, they're bonding. That's where we learned some more about Patrick Swayze. Apparently, she looked through his medical records, and I guess on your medical records, it has your entire educational history. And she learns, chat, that he went to New York State University, NYU, where he majored in philosophy. No wonder he's working as a bouncer, chat, because you have to be the best of the best to get a position in university or something like else to use that philosophy degree. Okay, that's just the way it is in this fucking time and age. And so he's like, yeah, but he's very intelligent. You can tell he could have gotten a job anywhere, chat, but his mind is always racing. He's always got to be a new place. He can't establish roots, chat, because of his past, his traumatic past, chat. And so she goes, I would like to get to know you more. He's like, hell yeah, but before we can do that, because she wants to have the sex immediately. She's like, oh my God, you're so hot. Let's do it. But Patrick Swayze's like, no, I respect you as a person. I will not have sex with you tonight. She's like, what? I'm Kelly Lynch. She goes, I know. And so they get in her car, chat. They drive him back to the good old Double Deuce, where a person has inserted a stop sign inside of his car. And it just gets more and more destroyed. And she's like, oh, shit, sorry about this. He's like, yeah, what are you going to do? And chat, we get the first intimate moment between Patrick Swayze and Dr. Kelly Lynch, and it's not sexual. She's like, "All right, we're gonna do it in the car." He's just gonna little kiss, little bit of tongue there, chat, and a good old smooch. And she almost looks disappointed. She's like, "That's it, that's it." He's like, "Oh, the best is yet to come. We're about to get to one of the top 10 greatest sex scenes in all of cinema. So don't you worry about it, Kelly Lynch." And eventually, He goes, he leaves, and she's like, oh, I can't wait for Patrick Swayze. Now, during all this time, chat, Brad Wesley, who I've only mentioned a couple times, he's trying to establish that he is the big threat in this movie. He does a good job. He doesn't have a mustache, chat, but he might as well be twirling one, because as we learn, Patrick Swayze's going around town talking to good old Red, chat. Mr. Red, he owns the auto shop, or one of the auto shops, the kind of the repair shop. I guess it's an auto shop for repairs. And Patrick Swayze's buying some shit from him because his car's constantly getting damaged. And who walks in? Fucking Brad Wesley. And Red, he's already intimidated, chat, because he always has to pay Brad Wesley protection money. Protection from who? Brad Wesley. He's got hell of an operation going. And Patrick Swayze, he does not like this. He does not take a good old shine to Brad Wesley. Gets on his bad side, and Brooks is like, I don't like you, Patrick Swayze. I'm going to have some words with you. I need you to hire back my nephew who you fired. He's like, I'm not doing that. And then one day, chat, we cut back to the bar where Brad Wesley's nephew, Mr. Mustache, he wants his job back. And he says, Mr. Tillman already agreed to it. Mr. Tillman's being intimidated, chat. And he says, look, I'm going to be hired, and you're going to be fired. And Patrick Swayze's like, no, you're not. Thank you, Doug, for another 5 biddies. Dalton will be up there with our most famous philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, Socrates. Dalton, absolutely, no question about it. So, while this is all happening, so Patrick Swayze's like, that's not going to happen. And the mustache man tries to stab. Patrick Swayze does not work out. He beats the shit out of him, beats the shit out of 2 other guys. They throw him out of the fucking bar. It's craziness, chat. Eventually, they make their way back to good old Brad Wesley, telling him about the situation. That it just did not work out. Mustache man, he goes in the house of his uncle, and uncle's like, looking disappointed at him, but he can't help himself. That's his sister's son. He has his nephew, chat, so he can't hit him. He can't bust him around, chat, but he can bust his fucking boys around. And the largest of them, chat, the most rotund, he actually is very sorry, and he apologizes. And Mr. Wesley says, you know what? That was honesty. I appreciate your apology. Thank you. I believe you. But then he got this one guy, this fucking tall drink of water, chat, but it's half fucking full. And he says, now I didn't get an honest apology from you. He's like, I'm sorry, sir. He's like, no, you're not sorry enough. And he just starts beating the shit out of him, chat. Starts hitting him in the balls, fucking grabbing him. He goes, just grabbing him, chat, just punching. He's like, see, the thing about you is, boy, you bleed too easy. You don't do well with pain. And he's beating the, she's like, stop it. He's like, don't worry, get yourself up. He's like, there you go. You know the thing I like about you? I like you. That's the thing. I just like you. Bah! And he backhands him, chat. Now get that piece of shit up and tell him to do his goddamn job. Goes back into the house, chat. Meanwhile, we cut to Patrick Swayze, and he is just so in love with Kelly Lynch, chat. And he brings her, after they go on one of their dates, he brings her back to his loft, chat, owned by Santa Claus. And here we go, Chez. It's the sexy scene. He goes up there, and we learn more about Dr. Kelly Lynch. You know, how originally she was raised by Red, the auto parts guy. And that's like her uncle or some shit. And because Patrick Swayze sees her picture in his office. And he's like, oh, so that's your uncle. He's like, yeah, I came back here, and I got married. Oh, shit, you were married? Yeah, I got married, but it just didn't work out. Apparently, chat, we find out that she's married to fucking Bradley Wesley. And he's a piece of shit. It's like, why would you marry a sociopath? The money, that's how it is. But she divorced him, chat, because he's insane. He's the villain of the movie. And eventually, Patrick Swayze is like, well, now you're not with him. Let's have the hot, sweaty sex. And chat, we get one of the absolute best sex scenes in the film. Because he already starts taking off his clothes, takes off his pants and shit. And I don't know what's something about it. The way Patrick Swayze does it, it's like it mesmerizes you. I can't even explain it, chat. I was like, I felt a lot of different feelings during this scene. And, she takes her stuff off, chat, looking very good in like a button shirt and everything. And he grabs her. He's Patrick Swayze, he's a strong guy. And so he already lifts her up, chat, and they start going at it on his fireplace. So she has her back to this like stony fireplace surface, chat. It's not brick, it's like stones. And then it happens, chat. The thrusting and the banging start. And you could just, it felt real. It was like, gee, this is very, very visceral. Thank you, Blatchy, for the 25 biddies. I gotta give you as much detail as possible. And so they start thrusting, they start gasping, chat, they start sweating. It's pretty incredible. And eventually, chat, they consummate the lovemaking. Many an hours passed of the lovemaking. Fucking Carol Lynch, she's snoring, she's so tired, but she gets up. Where is Patrick Swayze? Where's my piece of man meat? He is off on the roof, chat. He is naked. He is butt naked on the roof, just staring at shit. It's like, oh, he's crazy. He's Batman. This is Batman audition, chat. And she walks over, and it's like, oh, the movie knows how to tease you, too. Because she has, like, a blanket on herself, but her butt is all exposed, so you see the booty butt cheeks. And she walks out there, she just fucking struts. She's rocking what she has. Dark Slayer, 5 things you definitely need to describe sex scenes in movies more. Thank you. Thank you, Dark Slayer. I'm sorry, chat. I'm a little thirsty right now. And so she goes out there, chat, and she starts talking to Patrick Swayze. She's nuzzling him and shit. And it's like they're still kind of sweaty, chat, a little hot, but the cold air is going across their naked bodies, and so their nipples, chat, are becoming erect. It's like this happens, chat. This happens in the film. It's amazing, and they're all being very intimate and shit. Also, chat, before Patrick Swayze had the hot, sweaty sex with Kelly Lynch, he goes over to Brad Wesley's house because Brad Wesley's like, all right, enough of this shenanigans. Listen, I want you to work for me and pick up my collections and shit. You'll be the leader of all my henchmen. Patrick Swayze says, hell no. He's like, what do I need to pay you? He's like, you can't pay me any amount in the world because I won't work for you. He's like, no, he's mad, chat. But then we're back to the sex scene. It's very important to establish that. Also, Brad Wesley beats the shit out of his wife constantly, Chad. There's like huge fucking bruises on her face. It's terrible. It's terrible. But we're back at the hot, sweaty sex scene, or the aftermath of it. And, she's like, so how long are you going to stick around? He's like, probably not long. Because, Chad, that's the thing. It's not because he doesn't like Kelly Lynch. He does, but he has these conflicting feelings. He always has to be on the move. He's not satisfied with himself. It's not with the people he meets and everything. Like, these are good people. He's good to them, Chad, but he has this restlessness inside of him. Everything that happened in Dayton, Ohio, it just affected him. And she's like, you know what? If you keep doing something, if you're going to keep doing this, living this life, it's eventually going to run you down, okay? You're going to be a busted old horse. You're going to die. He's like, pain don't hurt. She says, pain may not hurt. Pain may not hurt, but eventually it will overcome you. And you will leave your corporeal form. He's like, no. And so he's like, but then she fucking nuzzles him. She kisses him, Chad. And he's like, you know what? Maybe I will stay. She goes, yay. And then, Chad, they start to have hot, sweaty sex on the roof in plain view of everyone. I mean, it's very obvious. There's no trees blocking anything. It's like there's the house, and then there's a giant lake and a big beacon of light. And what's happening there? Everyone's having hot, sweaty sex. And then we cut, one of my favorite scenes in the movie. We cut, Chad, to the house of Bradley Wesley on his upper patio, his second-story patio, and he just comes in the frame, and he's just rocking his chair. He's like, yes. He's like, he just doesn't like it yet. Or maybe he does, because as we learned before, his ex-wife is Kelly Lynch, and he's watching, chat, Patrick Swayze and Kelly Lynch have hot, sweaty, very loud, very obvious sex on a rooftop. It's like, whoa, and he's just staring. Everyone get a free show that night. Hell yeah, they did. Especially Brad Wesley. And he didn't take too kind of that, Chad. Eventually, good old Patrick Swayze, he's like, I'm so excited about my girlfriend. He calls up, Chad, his best friend in the world, Brad. It's not Brad Jarrett. No. It's Wade Garrett. Wade Garrett, Chad. And who is Wade Garrett? One of the greatest American heroes of all time, Sam Elliott, Chad. Now listen, Sam Elliott, he's always looked old. He's always looked weathered. But this is like him weathered, but like looking young at the same time. He looks fucking good in this movie, Chad. We cut to fucking Sam Elliott. He's got this long hair. He's got this, not the mustache is kind of there. It's growing in, Chad. Doesn't have the mustache yet, but he's got like this kind of scruffy beard. But when you cut to him, he's like, goddamn, he looks good. And he's working at some dive bar somewhere. He's got a bum leg now. Chad, his leg doesn't work because too many goddamn hits. But he's still got, Chad. He's beating the shit out of people, throwing him out of the bar. Like, you can tell why he was the best at one time. He was the best. But Patrick Swayze, he's the up-and-coming guy. The bartender says, fucking, Sam Elliott, you got a call. And it's like some guy named Dalton. He's like, Dalton? I know him. He goes over, Chad. He's talking to Dalton. And Dalton's like, Sam Elliott, I'm so excited that you called. I want you to meet my girlfriend. He goes, all right, I'll be there. I'll meet your girlfriend. And he drives down to Jasper, Missouri. Chad drives down to Jasper, Missouri. He goes in there. But the thing is, Chat, Brad Wesley, he's starting to squeeze the residents of Jasper, Missouri. And so, like, the first thing he fucking does, which is very nefarious, Chat, as Sam Elliott makes his way down, he blows up Red's hardware store in front of everybody. It explodes. Just like, whoa! It's so terrible. It's so terrible, Chat. And eventually, on the night of that, when that happens, Brad Wesley also... Oh, no, not yet. We're not at that point yet. No, Brad Wesley, he, since his nephew won't be rehired, he's intimidated every liquor distributor in Missouri and tri-state area from selling liquor to the Double Deuce. But Patrick Swayze, he knows a guy, and he's going to help. He's going to get some help for that. We don't know who that person is, Chad. He just gets a hold of someone, and they start sending liquor to the Double Deuce. And the thing is, they're unloading all this liquor, chat. Patrick Swayze, he's watching over the liquor distribution, but fucking Brad Wesley sends his boys over, chat, to intimidate everybody. And the thing is, they actually get one. They actually get one on Patrick Swayze, chat, because he's just one man. He's just one hunk of man meat, and he can't fight off 4 guys. And so eventually they do start beating the shit out of him, chat. But who comes to his goddamn rescue? Sam Elliott, chat. Wade Garrett. And he may have a bit of a bum leg, but he has come to help his buddy, chat. And he gets in there, and they just start beating the shit out of Brad Wesley's jabroni, chat. And they all go down. Lizzie, Miss, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well. Just in the middle of Sam Elliott kicking ass. And so him and fucking Patrick Swayze team up. They beat all these guys back. The other bouncers, they come outside. They beat all these guys back. And then we get a little bonding between Sam Elliott and Patrick Swayze. And he's like, what are you doing down here in Jasper, Missouri? He's like, I met someone, and I want you to meet. He's like, it was a girl, ain't it? He's like, I will not say it's a girl. And they go ahead and they drive off, chat. They get in their car, and they go to pick up Doc, good old Kelly Lynch. And Sam Elliott looks out, he's like, yeah, but it's a girl. I should have known. And they go in there, and they drive back to the bar somewhere, I think. They go to, like, a bar somewhere. Maybe. And they're all dancing, having a good time. And Kelly, she takes a good shine to Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott's very respectful, chat. And she goes, I got to use the bathroom. Excuse me. She leaves. And fucking Sam Elliott, though, he ruins it. He says, now listen, a girl, there's no way a girl with an ass that fine can have that many brains. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Sam, why? And Patrick Swayze goes, I know, she's the best. She is the best. She is the best. But you are a sick individual. He goes, what are you talking about? Listen, I know you. You will never be satisfied, okay? You're still thinking back on Dayton, Ohio. And we have like, oh, shit. He gets that 1,000-yard stare again. And it's like, you're going to bring turmoil on that girl's life. You should just cut and run. You should get out of here, spare her the tragedy and the trauma. And she walks back, and Patrick Swayze, he's thinking about all these things in his head. He just doesn't know how to feel. She walks back. She gives a good old smooch to Patrick Swayze. She's got to go back to the office, chat. She's got to go back because she's got to do some doctor stuff. And Sam Elliott and Patrick Swayze, they head back to the Double Deuce. And that's when Brad Wesley, they find him there, chat. And he's like, listen, you motherfuckers didn't listen to me the first time. Now I got to intimidate you. That's what I got to do. So he's just out here. He's like, oh, yeah, I sent the fire department to help good old Red and stuff. But I came here to see how the Double Deuce is holding up. And he's like, hey, guys, let's buy some like a Morgan here. Everyone, come on. Let's play something. Play a tune. Play something with balls. And the band starts. And he's ordering people around. He orders the bartender, give me a whiskey. And the guy, Keith David's the bartender, Chet. He has no speaking lines, but Keith David gives him a drink. He's like in it for like maybe 5 minutes. I was like, wow, Jesus Christ. In 89, he's just a bartender who had no speaking lines. Weird. Hey, it was work. And so eventually we are introduced to the evil version of Patrick Swayze, Chad, Jimmy. And you could tell he's evil, Chad, because he has dark hair. He has a swarthy complexion. And it's like, that's the bad guy. And this guy's going to show off all his kung fu fighting styles, Chad, because he goes in the front of the band, and he has a pool cue, and he starts doing all this kung fu fighting. Patrick Swayze, he sends his bouncers to take care of that guy. He's intimidating the customers, but they all start getting their asses kicked, Chad. And there's a brawl, and fucking Jimmy and Swayze and Sam Elliott, they're all fighting Sam Elliott, but Sam Elliott, he might have been the best at one time, chap, but he just can't beat back Jimmy. And Patrick Swayze, he gets in there, and it's like a deadlock between Patrick Swayze and Jimmy, Chad. It's a tie. And Bradley, he fires his gun in the middle of the room. He's like, all right, boys, that's enough. I think they got the point. We can leave now. And then, shall we cut to the next day, and Brad Wesley is continuing to squeeze the residents of Jasper, Missouri. Because then we cut to the car lot that Patrick Swayze bought his car, and I don't know how he could have this much power, Chad. He's just a local businessman, but he sends a monster truck through this car lot and crushes like 15 cars. It's like, what is happening? He just crushes them all, Chad. And fucking Kelly, Dr. Kelly, she's there. She said, well, you can't do this, Brad. She's like, I could do anything I want. I'm the villain. And he does that, chat. Continues to intimidate more people. Eventually, we cut to, we cut to the night where Kelly is visiting Patrick Swayze, and he's feeling terrible because this is all being caused because his presence here. And because Brad Wesley tells him, like, listen, I'll stop doing this if you leave. If you get the fuck out of here, I'll stop intimidating and trying to kill all these people. And he's like, I don't know what to do. But everyone loves Dalton, and he's the best thing to happen to Jasper, Missouri in some time. And Kelly, she goes there to tell, like, you have to leave. He's gonna try to kill you. He's gonna try to hurt more people. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what to do. And then she's like, but the thing is, it's like, I love you, doll. He's like, you love me. Then why tell me to go? And she's like, I don't know. And then a fucking massive explosion happens behind her, chat. And fucking Santa Claus's house is blown up. Emmett, I call him Santa Claus. He looks like Santa Claus. His house is exploded. And everyone's like, oh no. And they run out to his house. And they're like, no, Santa, are you okay? And the chat's okay because half the house is still intact. And they drag Santa out. They drag him out. And he's like, are you alive, Santa? He's like, I'm alive. It'd be better if you got off me. And good old Patrick, he gets off, but chat, the person who set the fire is escaping on a bicycle, on a fucking motorbike. And it's Jimmy, chat. It's fucking evil Jimmy. And he's riding out, and chat, the best laugh of the movie, because Jimmy, he stops, and he looks at them and goes, and continues driving. And Patrick Swayze's like, fuck that. And Patrick Swayze's like, he's somehow imbued with the Speed Force, chat, and he just starts fucking running. And we get one of the best jumps in all the cinema, because he fucking does, I don't know how he does, he's like a goddamn curve, and he jumps like, and he tackles Jimmy on the motorcycle, chat, and then knocked off. And then they get into a wrestling match. They start kung fu fighting. The thing is, though, Jimmy has the upper hand. Patrick Swayze already got beaten up. Early in the movie, he's still smarting from his injuries when he's getting his ass kicked protecting the liquor guy. And it's like, and you know, it's just not an even match anymore. And it's like, I expected better of you, Dalton. And at one point, he's got like Dalton in a death grip. Jimmy's got Dalton in a death grip, and he fucking whispers in his ear, chat. And I'm like, I cannot believe this line. He says, I used to fuck guys like you in prison. And it's like, whoa, whoa. It's like, okay, Lizzie. I hope you're having a wonderful day too. And Patrick Swayze is like, the hell you will. And they still fight, chat, but then fucking Jimmy, he gets his leg caught in a tree. And Patrick Swayze goes, ah! And he snaps that fucking thing in half. He goes, ah! And he gets out. He's still trying to fight Patrick Swayze, shit, still punching and shit. But Patrick Swayze, he's had enough. You tried to kill my friends. And, like, he breaks his arm. He's like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to kill you. Patrick Swayze, he picks up a gun, chat. He's like, I'm going to blow your brains. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. Patrick Swayze's like, hell you will. And he kicks the gun, chat, kicks the gun out of the way, grabs him by the nape of his neck, takes his other hand and goes, ah! And rips out his throat. And his blood spraying everything. And he drops him in the water, chat. He drops in the water. And then Brad Wesley, by the way, has been watching all this from his second floor porch. He goes, oh, shit. And he goes, and Patrick Swayze goes, Wesley! Wesley! See what you made me do? I'm coming for you! And he's like, ah, shit. I may have fucked up. I may have fucked up. And eventually Kelly, she comes over there. And she goes to check on Jimmy, but Jimmy's dead, Chad. Jimmy's dead. He ain't coming back. She's like, you killed this man. He's like, it was self-defense. It was totally self-defense. She goes, you have to stop doing this. You're not a violent person. He's like, I am a violent person. Dayton, Ohio. And she's like, but you are calm. You have the soul of a philosopher. It's very complicated, Chad. She's like, if you're not going to leave, then I'm going to leave you. And he goes, oh. And it's very sad, chat. Eventually, Patrick Swayze, he's working the bar. It's like the morning or something, I guess. Or maybe it's like the afternoon. It's the morning. It's the morning. And he goes there, and he gets a call from Brad Wesley. And Brad Wesley's like, heads or tails? And he's like, what? He's like, heads or tails? Whichever you pick, that's the person I'm going to kill. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? Heads or tails? It's either going to be Sam Elliott or it's going to be Kelly Lynch. He goes, shit. He's like, well, what are you doing? He's like, oh, hold on. And he stops. He's like, fucking Wesley. And he takes out evil shit. He takes out a coin, goes, boop. Yeah, I got it here, but I wish I could tell you. Click, hands up. He's like, Wesley! And chat, as soon as he's like streaming in this, he sees from someone who's walked in the bar, it's Sam Elliott, and he's got his shit kicked. Also, there was like a talk between Sam Elliott and Patrick Swayze earlier, where Sam Elliott's like, we gotta leave. Let's leave tomorrow, okay? It's gotten worse here, okay? Let me help you. Patrick Swayze's like, I don't know, I'm gonna fight him. He's like, all right, if you think so. But then, we cut to this spot, and Sam Elliott walks in, he's all beating the shit, and he's like, you should see the other guy. And he's like, he collapses, Patrick Swayze grabs, he's like, Sam Elliott, what's wrong? He's like, I don't know. These guys jumped me, and I kicked their asses and shit, but they got me real good. But they said that I got off easy. Oh, my God. Wesley is going for Kelly Lynch, Chad. His ex-wife, he doesn't care. He's a psychopath. He's going to kill Kelly Lynch. And Patrick Swayze's like, listen, we're going to leave today. But I want to make sure, I'm going to bring Kelly Lynch with us so she doesn't get murdered. And he's like, okay, I'm going to rest here and have a beer. He's like, only one beer, okay? Only one beer. You're an old man, and you're a young kid. I'll see you later, Patrick Swayze. I'll see you later, Sam Elliott. And he leaves Chad. He goes to the hospital. But the thing is, he goes in there, and Kelly Lynch is like, what are you doing here? She's like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I've been working here all day. Everything's fine. She's like, wait a minute. Everything's fine? It's like, yes, and listen, I don't want to see you again, okay? And they smooch. They smooch chat because they love each other, and Patrick Swayze's like, listen, I need to leave. Let's meet again in the future. He goes, I will be there for you. I will be for them. And they smooch, and then he leaves chat, and he goes back to the bar. Where Sam Elliott's on the top of the bar chair. He looks like he's sleeping. And he goes, Sam Elliott, I only told you one beer. Hey, come on, buddy, let's go. And he pokes him, chat, but he's not moving. He's like, hey, come on. And then he turns him over, chat, and we see a knife embedded in Sam Elliott's chest. And he reads the note, and it says, I picked tails. And it's like, no, they killed Sam Elliott, chat. How dare they? And then it snaps in Patrick Swayze's head. He's got the bloodlust, Chad. He has the murder rage, and now he must seek vengeance against Brad Wesley. And he gets in on his car, shit, and he's going straight for his house. Meanwhile, all Brad Wesley's boys, they're all waiting for Patrick Swayze because he knows this is going to set him off. They all got their guns, and they just see Patrick Swayze's car just coming straight at him. Goes over the barrier, chat, and they just start laying this gun-dead thing. And and the car goes off a ramp, and it flips, and boom, it explodes. They're like, whoa, we got him. And they go to the debris, chat. They open up the door. Patrick Swayze's not in, and it is the knife that was embedded in Sam Elliott's chest. Holy shit. And the guy takes it, and it was that guy's knife. He's like, fucking secure the grounds. The thing is, chat, we follow this one guy who had the knife guy, and he's going around, but all these guys have been taken out. They've all been, like, had their necks snapped and shit. It's like, Jesus. And he realized, Patrick Swayze got inside the house. He goes inside the house, chat, more dead guys and shit. But then, Patrick Swayze attacks him. And they get into a fight, chat. But this guy, he doesn't stand a chance against Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze, he fucking grabs the knife out of his hand, just crushes his hand. He's like, And he starts stabbing in his, like, stab in his gut. And he's dead. And then Mustache Man, who used to be the bartender at the Double Deuce, he has a machine gun. He's like, fuck you, Patrick Swayze! And he starts shooting, but Patrick Swayze, he has a knife. The knife is stronger than the gun in this case, chat. And he goes, bah! And he hits him, chat, it's all in the reflexes, hits him in his tummy, and he falls over dead. And eventually, chat, there's only two guys standing. There's Brad Wesley, who's like, shit, I fucked up. And the fat one, chat. And the thing is, he's fat and he's funny, so he will not die. He will live, but he will get his ass kicked in a very comedic way. And Patrick Swayze, he has wandered into the trophy room of Brad Wesley, all stuffed animals and shit. And the fat man, he does not like this because it concerns him. And Patrick Swayze pushes a giant polar bear on top. He goes, And a polar bear falls on top of the fat man, chat, where he's pinned by it. But then Brad Wesley's like, I got to skedaddle. He goes down there. He's still looking for Patrick Swayze. And he finds him, chat, and gets a gun knocked out of his hand. But Patrick Swayze at this point is exhausted by fighting all these people. And so at this point, Brad Wesley, even though he's like a 65-year-old man, starts kicking the shit out of Patrick Swayze. He's using all his weapons, using like ceremonial daggers and like Zulu spears and shit, chat, but Patrick Swayze has enough energy to block all these attacks eventually, chat, until he finally he hits Brad Wesley in his knee, and he goes, and it goes out, chat. The fucking thing pops out. He's like, and just he has him on the couch. He's just about to rip his fucking throat out. He's like, but he won't do it, chat. And Kelly Lynch walks in, and she's like, oh God, what's he gonna do? And he doesn't, chat. He stops himself, even though he's killed all these other guys, all these no-name people. He won't kill the main bad guy. Why do they do that? They always do that, chat. Before he's just about to rip his throat out, or he stops, but fucking Brad Wesley, well, this is my advantage now, and he takes out his gun. He's just about to shoot Patrick Swayze, but he is shot. Patrick Swayze says, "Well, who did that?" And it was Red, the auto shop owner. He's just shot Brad Wesley right here. It's like, oh God, and then fucking Emmett walks in, chat, and shoots him. He's like, oh, his gut. And then the car salesman comes in, and boom, they shoot him too. And then Mr. Tillman, chat, the one that brought Dalton into town, good old Patrick Swayze into town, he comes in there, he's like, you should know, Brad Wesley, this is our town. And boom, and he blows his fucking head off, and there's guts and everywhere, chat. He's dead. He falls over. And then Red, the police sirens are sounding off, chat, and they all gather the guns, and I guess they put him in a corner somewhere. And the fat man, he's alive. He's okay. He got out of the polar bear, chat, and he survived. He's like, oh shit, I'm unemployed now. And the sheriff, they walk in, and he's like, all right, what happened here? Who did it? And they're like, Sheriff, we don't know. We didn't see nothing. And everyone's like, we didn't see nothing. Pat Swayze, he's like, I saw nothing. Kelly, he's like, I saw nothing. And you're like, well. I guess we're just going to rule an accident. They asked the fat man, have you seen anything? And all he says, chat, is, I was attacked by a polar bear. And they're like, well, case closed. And then the town celebrates, chat, the death of Wesley and his ne'er-do-wells and his family. And everyone's happy, chat. And our last scene that we see is Patrick Swayze and Kelly Lynch having graphic sex in a watering hole, chat. And that, my friends, is Roadhouse. There is a sequel to Roadhouse, chat. I never seen it. There is a sequel to Roadhouse, but I hate to tell you this. I hate to tell you this, chat, because it stars the son of Dalton, and it takes place many years later. And apparently, we learned that Dalton was executed, chat. He was shot, but I don't acknowledge it as canon. Dalton and Kelly Lynch, they had many babies. They had great success, chat, and that is the story of Roadhouse. An American classic. So, chat, hope you enjoyed the review. I love this film. It is so goddamn goofy and fun, but hope you dug it.